In this video, I will show you 4 insane ways to leverage Notebook LM, an AI tool built by Google DeepMind, which, if you use it correctly, will exponentially increase your study efficiency. Hi, I'm Alex. I'm a recent electrical engineering graduate, and along the way, I landed internships in AI, hardware, and software engineering. Now I work full-time as a software engineer at Europe's largest bank. Let's get into the video. So the first way to use Notebook LM is for studying specifically for exams. And I'm going to tell you a story about how I used to do things, right? So when I was in my first and second year, the way I would approach exams is, it's study time. It's exam season. Let's study for exams. I would get a past paper out and I'll start doing it. And very quickly, I'll get stuck. I'm looking at the problem. I don't understand it. I go to all my notes from my book, looking at it. My notes don't really make sense because I rushed it. So I go to the PowerPoint slides. I look at the PowerPoint slides. It still doesn't really make sense. So I go to the recorded lecture, if it's recorded. I find that the audio is terrible and it's still not really making sense. I have to go on YouTube, find some Indian man who gave a really good tutorial, finally kind of get what's going on, and I then attempt the problem, and that's kind of how my problem solving for exams looked like. As you can see, it's a very long process, and we can optimize this with Notebook LM. This is what you can do. You can upload every single asset you have of the module or the class you are studying, every single PDF, every single slide, every single document, the past papers, the worksheets, even the videos if you have access to them. Upload them all onto Notebook LM. Create your own custom trained model pretty much on your specific problem. Now, this is how it gets crazy. You have already an enormous amount of context, and it's based on a very good source of truth, which is the actual literal notes from your class. What you can now do is tell Notebook LM to run a deep research of other useful resources around this topic to further enhance your studying when it's time to really get going. So let's say you're studying machine vision. You can literally run deep research and it will find fantastic resources around machine vision that it will just go and search the internet for. You don't need to go there yourself and start looking for the videos. If you want videos on machine vision, be like, hey, could you find me any great videos on machine vision that we can add here? I do want to note that these things do hallucinate, and don't take every single thing that it says precisely. Do verify any link it does give you. Check it, have a quick skim read, see it's valid, because from time to time it will give terrible resources. This thing is not perfect, so FYI. So now you have your knowledge base of resources. You have now a secondary verified source that's added on top of that. Now you are, oh my days, you are like Iron Man. You got Jarvis to your disposal. Hey, could you explain me what Nyquist's sampling theorem is in digital signal processing? And it will just tell you, and it won't just tell you from a generic LLM search. It will tell you based on also the resources that are there. And that's what's important. You are not really going to get false information unless the additional resources you have found on the internet you didn't verify. So please make sure you verify any source it finds for you. But now this is where the fun starts. Once you've built your knowledge base, you can do so much stuff. If you're a visual learner, you can create a mind map of all the things that are added into the context of your knowledge base. And yeah, it creates a mind map. It shows you which topics are connected to others. And you can even click on the mind map and it will kind of zoom in and it will run a search and it will just give you more information on that specific node, I guess, in the graph that it created for you. Or for example, you just want to give yourself like a check. How are you doing on this module? You can tell it to create a quiz and you get a good feeling for how much you really understand. It will obviously not be like an exam question, but it will really tell you if you have any sort of understanding of the knowledge. If you can pass a quiz, you're probably doing okay, right? So that's also a really good way to kind of figure out, give yourself an idea of how you're doing, right? Because if you've uploaded your whole module's content and it's created a quiz on it and you're able to answer 70% of it, you're in a good place. You're in a good place. So this is a really good way to create some sort of like anchor for how you're doing. Because sometimes it's really hard to figure out, like, how am I doing on this module? Like, you know, until you get to the exam, sometimes it's really hard. So that's another good way to use it. And since we're, you know, preparing for exams, the most useful thing this thing can do is create a past paper for you. If you have given it tutorial problems, a past paper or two, and all your PDFs and slides, it will create a really, really good past paper. So there is now no excuses for when there's a situation where you have a lazy lecturer and he hasn't given you past paper resources, because purely based on tutorial problems and PDFs, it will do a really good job, and that will put you at such a crazy advantage compared to all your other students. So ideally you have a past paper, so it knows how to model itself on. So you can be like, hey, based on the one past paper I have attached and all the resources we have available, could you create me another past paper that I can further practice my studies? Please make it representative of the difficulty of this module. And they'll give you questions, and they'll give you really good questions based on the content you have in your course. And it's, guys, it's fantastic. It's so good. Please use it. And next, when you're studying for exams, something I figured out quite late on, but I'm happy I did figure out, is using the Socratic approach to prompting. What does that mean? Anytime you are doing a tutorial problem, you're doing a past paper, you're practicing for that exam and you're stuck, there is this, like, you know, this uphill battle you have with your brain, and it doesn't have to be like that anymore. What you do is you say to Notebook LM, hey, I'm doing problem number 3 and I don't understand how to do it. I'm completely stuck. Could you please teach me Socratically so that I can get to the answer? Please do not give me the answer. Let me get to it myself. This way, you will learn. It's so important you learn how to use AI to amplify your own learning. Do not cheat. And this is the best way not to cheat. If you ask it specifically to Socratically teach you, it will spoon feed you with questions which will direct you, and you can speak with it and you'll get there eventually. And this is incredible. Please do this. Wow. But this is only one way to study, right? Studying for exams is only one part of studying. Another time you will need to study during your engineering university time is studying for interviews, especially those technical interviews. So when I actually was interviewing for HSBC, I realized that there is an insane amount of content. There is just a lot of information about the bank. It's obviously a huge bank with like 200,000 employees. There's a lot of data on the interviewing process. There's a lot of information on the internet. And it was very, very overwhelming to try and capture all this information, make sense of it so that it can aid my study time when preparing for my interviews. I had to do things manually. I started reading up random Reddit posts without even really understanding whether it's useful or not. Using Notebook LM in this situation is a game changer. If you're applying to a company and you're in its recruitment stage, especially if the company is big, like a big tech or big bank, this is cracked because all the information is out there on the internet, and it will create a knowledge base yet again of all the information that is useful, that is necessary to help you succeed. So step 1 is do research, human in the loop with Notebook LM. Hey, I'm interviewing for this business intelligence engineering role at Amazon. Could you find me any relevant resources for the BI engineering internship? Boom. Send that through. It will give you so much useful stuff. It will scrape the internet. It will tell you. It will tell you. It will tell you. Wow. Another thing you can do is also attach the CV you used to apply for that role. It will have additional context of your profile as an individual and can potentially find like weak points where you can really like double down on like maybe technical problems. And by the way, if you want to get the CV template that I used to get interviews at Google, Samsung, and ultimately my full-time software engineering role at HSBC, you can. It's free. Link in the description. Go grab it. you can then send it to Notebook LM and it will do a really good job. So yeah, attach everything you can that you already know. I also even attach the emails that I get from recruiters, so it has additional context of the format of the interview, right? So, you know, it's 45 minutes, it's on Zoom, and now it knows that I'm gonna have to do some screen recording, and it will catch useful nuances like, hey, this is an Amazon interview and it's online. You're probably gonna do a coding task, and you're not allowed to use an IDE. You're going to get a blank piece of paper. And just knowing this, so you can prepare in a way where it is representative of the actual interview, is super, super useful. Get all of this right. If you find the right data, the right resources, if you add in relevant additional context, like your CV, you've done 80% of the work. Now it's literally just how much effort are you going to put in? Prompt it away. Hey, help me prepare for the technical interview. Give me SQL problems that are representative of what we can get on an Amazon interview for a BI engineering internship role. Hey, what type of Python questions should I prepare for? Oh, another one which is a really good. What are the core values of this company? Could you help me prepare some really intelligent questions that I can give the engineer at the end of the discussion? All these questions will save you so much time, and it will accelerate your studying and it will help you find a job. And by the way, I'm running a one-to-one coaching program with a select few engineering students. And if you're interested, then there's a link in the description to sign up for a waitlist. That's everything. Next, it is studying for projects. Okay, so you know how to study for exams, you know how to study for interviews, but another huge part about engineering is studying for projects. And the way you study for a project is very different. It's way more ambiguous, so it's much more difficult, I would say. But you can still leverage Notebook LM in a really good way. And what you do is you start off with like a few key things. For example, when I was in my second year, I had a robotics project, and there were a few key things that we knew. We knew we were using an Arduino. We knew that we need to move servos around. We knew vaguely that we need to create a robot, a dancing robot, and there's going to be a competition, and the music's going to play, and it's literally going to wiggle. That's literally what it was. And finally, we had a £50 budget. Tell it what you already know about the project. Next, go to the research tab, run a deep research, and be like, hey, could you find me relevant resources around the Arduino, around electronics interfacing with an Arduino, about how to use a servo with an Arduino. It will find you a bunch of super useful stuff. And now after that, you can review all these links that it gives you, see if they're valid or not. Some of them will be bad. Throwaways that you don't like, keep the ones you want. And now you have done like a nice level of research from where you can really start to work on your project. Now you can brainstorm. You can really brainstorm. And this is what's also super cool. You can attach a documentation of like hardware, like data sheets. Wow, like upload that data sheet of the Arduino you're going to use on the project. Upload the data sheets of all the resistors, transistors, the pins, all of these things that you will need when you're working on that project. So when you have a problem in your project and it's about the Arduino and the LED is not turning on, it's probably a problem with your pins and you got that wrong. And the old-fashioned way would be to go to the documentation, look at the library of contents, then try and find the specific line where it talks about the pins for LED lights. And actually you realize you have the wrong Arduino documentation, and this problem is solved, right? It will find you the right documentation for the right Arduino. And if you have a problem, it will just tell you. It's so good at helping you with navigating documentation, and it's a huge thing in engineering projects, guys. There will be so much documentation that you have to read, and you don't have to read it all now. If you find the right documentation that you're sure it's going to be necessary, just give it to Notebook LM and ask the right questions, and it will give you back the answer. It will scrape through that text and it will give you the right thing. Use that to your advantage. And there's one other thing you will need to study for in your engineering degree, and it's for your thesis. It's your final year thesis, specifically your literature review. When I was doing my thesis in the application of graph neural networks to simulate the airway flow in the lungs, I got super stuck on the literature review because you have to read a bunch of research papers, and research papers are written in a super scientific way. They're very difficult to read. And it's like you're not really 100% sure if what the writer is saying is what you think they're saying because they're using such abstract terminology. Sometimes the mathematics that is displayed is too complicated. Like in machine learning, there's so much like theoretical computer science and just pure maths, to be honest, that it's out of context for me. And I had to struggle through that. I spent a whole month doing my literature review, and it was the most agonizing part of the whole dissertation. You do not need to go through that process of suffering. You can literally upload what you already know about your research, about your dissertation. Hey, I'm doing my dissertation in XYZ. Oh, this is the idea of how I'm going to implement my solution. This is the problem. Hey, I need to do a literature review now. Could you find me the best scientific literature on this specific topic? And boom, it's off. It will find you loads of research papers. And look, this is the tricky part. You will still need to read the abstract, okay? Read the abstract of everything that it shows you. If the article is sensible, keep it. And once you've created like a knowledge base of a bunch of relevant research papers, now you can really start to hone it in. Hey, I want to really explore the idea of the application of graph neural networks in biology. What is the relevant research on it right now? And it will look at the things that it found and try tangle these things together, make sense of it. The idea of a literature review is to pretty much say, look, what I'm doing, it's based on all these other things that have happened in science, and I'm taking the next step. And it makes sense because of XYZ in ZAA in these research papers. That's what's going on here. But it's quite a difficult process. You can prompt it in layman terms and you will make sense of everything it says because you can just speak to it normally. Like you're asking the person that wrote the paper. And that's what's really good. Once you're really confident with all the things that are like in the knowledge base, you can literally say, help me write my literature review for the application of graph neural networks to simulate the airway flow in the lungs. I'm planning to approach this by creating a custom graph neural network where the input is an adjacency matrix of the lung and the output is the flow rate and the pressure of every single node in the lung. And with that type of detail, it's able to really thread through that information and give you the best things and create a good draft. And then you work together with the AI to create something incredible. Remember, you want to be in the loop. Do not try just to outsource everything to AI. It will do a bad job. You need to be in the loop. You need to be the driver. But if you do that, you have amazing results. And this is not the only tool available for engineering students to use. If you're interested in learning about other AI tools for engineering students, I strongly recommend you watch this video over here, where I speak in way more detail about other tools. Thank you for watching. That's me. That's Alex. Bye-bye.